Live now.
I think he cares, Jim. He's a caring guy.
We're on the
Don't
air.
start me off. Don't start
Hey,
me
we're on the air.
off. Uh,
Law and order.
Negative K, nothing further. Just Kitty Candy in the corner. That's a direct order. Do it now.
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, March 6, 2026. We are roll call, black, white, and blue for better relations. I'm here with a few of my friends. I got D with us. I got Ty with us. I got Jerry, Mark, Derek, Rich, CJ, Jim, and Cheech. And we want to have a moment of silence for law enforcement, military that passed away, and even one of our R&B artists, Angie Stone, that passed away in a tragic accident last week. All right. We're gonna have Cheech give us our disclaimer, and Rich is gonna give us our statement of purpose.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Before we get started, we wanted to go over a couple of things. First, we want to let you know that any opinions made by any member of Roll Call is the opinion of each person. It's not intended to be legal advice, recommendation, or suggestion for you. If you need legal advice, please consult your local police department or a local attorney. You got to remember that the laws change from town to town, city to city, state to state. So please consult with your local authorities or a qualified attorney. Also, once in a while, we will display videos or photographs. We use these to spark our discussions and conversations. These videos and photographs are not the property of Roll Call. We get them from social media like YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and all that stuff. So you also have access to this. They are not intended to offend anybody. We will let you know ahead of time if we are going to have any that are sensitive in nature or are graphic. One of our panel members will let you know. Also, the language used by our members is very spontaneous. It is uncensored. It's not intended to offend anybody. So please don't take offense to it. You will see that sometimes among our own panel members, we don't agree on some things. We speak our truth. We don't hold back. We don't take it personal among our group. So we don't want you to take it personal either. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, um, Cheech, Rich.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. We're glad you're here. We're Roll Call Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. We're a pro law enforcement group. We believe in equitable policing. Uh, we we're against racism and Black Lives Matter. If you have any questions, if you're here live with us in the chat, go ahead and gin those questions up and we'll try to address them for you. Thanks for being here.
All right, thank you again, Cheech and Rich. And listen, it just lets you know. I just sent Miss Kyle a text. I just sent you a text. But good to see you, Kyle. Thanks for joining us. Listen, We're praying for our very own JT, and of course his wife. We're praying for them. We're praying for Cheech and your wife, Anna Cheech. We're praying for AC and his wife, Jeanette, on loss of their mother-in-law. CJ, we still got you on our list. So we're praying for you, Miss CJ.
Keep the
And
prayers coming.
all right, and we're saying happy birthday to Troy Wright. Today is Troy's birthday. We're saying happy birthday to Troy. All right, I think that's it. We're gonna get right into our first video. And this is a very difficult one. It's in regards to a cop's final moments. And D, anything else you want to add to that, D, or that we should know? Because
let's do a trigger alert first.
okay,
Any law enforcement, anybody really, period, to hear somebody's last moments. But this is we're often asked why police officers do some of the things they do. This is some of the things we see and some of the things we experience while we're working. This officer made the ultimate sacrifice, but you get to see it from beginning to end, and there's no way to excuse the behavior. So just take a look. It's trigger alert. So if you're really squeamish to things you might not want to watch this video. It's a long video, but let's get started.
On March 25, 2024, convicted felon Jeremy Alexander Smith was traveling west on Interstate 40 when he experienced a flat tire around the 318-mile marker west of Tucumcari. Around 4:30 a.m., Smith was seen attempting to flag down motorists for help, but his efforts were unsuccessful. However, word of the situation reached law enforcement, and New Mexico State Police Officer Justin Hare was dispatched to assist Smith. These are the events that followed when Officer Hare arrived at the scene at approximately 5:04 a.m.
6-6 taking care of B97. Hey, bud.
Got a flat tire. You can help me?
What are you needing?
Just a tire. I need a ride to the store. You get me there.
Okay, I can get you back to town real quick, but nobody's open tonight.
Well, that's fine. I get to town. I just haven't come back to get the car.
Okay, go ahead and go to the front of my car real quick. I'll meet you up there real quick. I'll get
Shots.
As Smith drives off in the squad car, Officer Hare's labored final breaths can be heard from the front passenger area after being shot in the neck.
Where is that?
It is common practice for officers to inform dispatch when they arrive on scene, and while officers address an issue, dispatch will typically check in to ensure their safety. When Officer Hare failed to respond to dispatch, a distress signal was activated in his unit at approximately 5:09 a.m., about 5 minutes after he'd arrived on the scene. In response, backup units were sent to the location where Officer Hare was supposed to be assisting Jeremy Smith. When backup arrived, they found the white, unoccupied BMW with a flat tire, but Officer Hare's squad car was missing. Around the same time, Smith had driven approximately 6 miles west and stopped to dump Hare's body at this location. Smith drives another 6 miles west of Interstate 40 before crashing the squad car at the 304-mile marker. New Mexico State Police later recovered Officer Hare's body with gunshot wounds to his head and neck. His squad car was found abandoned at the crash site. Hare was transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigators also learned that the BMW Smith was driving was registered to Phonesia Machado IV, a South Carolina paramedic who had been reported missing and was later found deceased from a gunshot wound to the head. The primary person of interest in this case was Jeremy Smith. It is believed that after crashing the squad car, Smith either walked or got a ride to the nearby town of Cuervo, where he stole a flatbed truck and drove to Albuquerque. A statewide manhunt was launched, with multiple news outlets covering the story. 2 days after Officer Hare's death, law enforcement received a call from a store in Sunshine Plaza Drive, Albuquerque.
So there's a gentleman that came in. He's an African American. He has a black hoodie with a brown beanie. Came in and bought some cigarettes, and when I looked at his ID, his first name was Jeremy. His ID came from South Carolina, and it looked just like the guy that shot the officer, the state police officer.
A few minutes after the call, deputies from the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office arrived in the area and quickly located Smith in a neighborhood close to the store the call came from.
There he is. He's Anderson Hill and Mott Ortiz. Stop right here. Where's he at? Do you hear him?
I heard the gate open. Drop that trash can.
Hey, get over here! I made contact and he's behind 3135. Stop running! He's jumping fences. He's gonna be running. Jumping fences. That way, that way, that way. He's this way. He's this way, Sarge. Shots fired. Where's he at? Sarge, where's he at? Where did you last see him, Sarge?
Right here.
Go inside.
You went this way.
Go inside. Go inside. Yeah, go inside. Did he jump up here? He's right here. Stop moving. Stop. Stop. I'm gonna get shot.
Fire! Fire!
Keep moving! Roll over! Roll over! Roll over!
You guys okay?
Yeah. Roll over!
Okay. I got a gun right here. You just threw it over. All right, let's move up.
Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! What the f*** on this gun?
That's the one in custody. Can we double check all three persons report this time?
Oh, man.
Don't move!
I got it.
20 is 8412.
My arm.
Here we go.
What's your name, bro? Go.
8412 Lost Desert. 8412 Lost Desert.
Hey, you should take it there, man.
Don't move.
Copy that. Please, no gunshot wound.
Hey, gun. Set down the road, dude. What's your name, bro? You Jeremy? Whatever your name is? Yeah, man.
Give me that.
Oh. I ain't got nothing.
You got something else?
You got his ID, Jeremy Alexander Smith.
My arm.
My
arm.
Okay, bro.
Oh.
We have the paramedics coming to get you.
All right, my arm, man.
Okay.
My arm.
Let's sit him up. We're gonna sit you up, bro. All right.
My arm. Hold. That arm.
Let me sit right here. Okay. Yeah, he's sit right here.
Yeah, he's right here.
Oh.
Hold on, we're gonna get medical, all right?
Oh, please.
Hey, he's got shears.
Please.
Hey, give me shears. Give me some shears.
Please.
Shears. Shears, get me shears.
Hello, man.
Shears, get me
My
shears.
arm
I got a medical bag right there, dude.
Oh, you got one.
Give me the shears. You got 43 route? You got 43 route? Have them run code.
Smith was shot 4 times before getting arrested and transported to the University of New Mexico Hospital for treatment. He was discharged and moved to the Cibola County Corrections Center the next day. He pleaded not guilty to federal charges related to the death of New Mexico State Police Officer Justin Hare. He is also facing 17 charges in South Carolina in connection with the death of Phonesia Machado IV. His trial is set to begin on September 22, 2025, with motions and hearings scheduled throughout the year leading up to the trial. Officer Hare was laid to rest on March 27, 2024. He is survived by his longtime girlfriend and 3 children, one of whom was due at the time of his death.
Civil rights leaders are
Wow. All I'd say is, wow. It was long, but it kept my attention the whole time. Let me go with Jim, Cheech, and Dave.
I think that was an excellent example of why police officers sometimes are overcautious when they make stops. Everybody that's listening should understand that when a police officer is responding to a known gunman, they're actually safer than they are just pulling over a VTL.
That's right.
Why do I say that? Well, that officer went to this guy's help to help him with his tire, with his car. He was going to give him a lift. He was going to put him in a car and take him to where he wanted to go.
Right.
He had no knowledge that this guy had a gun and already killed his girlfriend. So this guy, right from Jump Street, was going to shoot and kill that cop.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know that. So, we can go into the tactics used by the cop or lack of, but I don't think in this particular case he had a chance at all.
It's a tough, yeah.
I mean, that was just an assassination from Jump Street. But I just want everybody that's listening to us understand that every time a police officer pulls over a car, he has no idea if that driver had just committed a crime and is not going to be taken. He has no idea. So it's a very dangerous thing. And if you see a cop come out with his hand on his gun, or a cop that seems to be a little bit over aggressive, that don't move, let me see your hands, start right here. That's why they do it. It's because of cases like this.
And in most cases, say one thing, John, real fast. In most cases, the person who is being pulled over thinks we pulling him over for what he just did. But we have no idea what you just did. But in their mind, they know they're guilty of something. This guy with the tire probably thinks this guy knows that this car was involved in the shooting. And that's why the cops pulling him over, which is probably why he shot him, I think. Sad, man. God.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
You're probably right though, Ty.
Yeah.
Cheech, Dave, Derek, D, and Rich.
Yeah, Jim and Ty hit on the points I was going to talk about. That, exactly that. Officers, he was going there to help, but the person in the car, they don't know why they're getting pulled over, and like Ty said, he already knew what he had done, and he thought that's why he was getting pulled over. But since you guys touched on that, I just want to also point out the professionalism of the officers that apprehended him. Emotions are high. You already know that this guy took an officer down, and so he's willing to go down fighting. And they took him down and saw that, even though he was shot 4 times, they called for an ambulance and, render aid. And that shows a lot of professionalism and holding back your emotions. You got to control your emotions, even though you know what this guy's done already. So kudos to them.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah. I was gonna I agree with Cheech. I was gonna say the same thing. Horrific and tragic that it was. Those other cops that apprehended him and then they sat him up. I said, man, those guys are real professionals, man. And they know, and you want to just wipe his ass out, but they didn't do it. Okay. They brought his ass in for justice, man. And, and I commend them in such a horrific, circumstances, killing his girlfriend and then killing the cop. You know what I mean? I'm just, we have some good cops out here and cops that care about you on the roads too. We don't talk about that much. This guy willing to offer him a ride any way he wants. I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not checking, not searching you for a weapon, just to get you the hell off the road where you need to go. We'll get your car towed. We'll take you here, and I'll tell you where it's getting towed to. Okay, but a lot of us have done that. New York State Police, man, those guys. One time my car broke down on Southern State, man. Those guys didn't. They found out who I was, but they offered to give me a ride home and wait for my tow for me. you know, man, this is just devastating. But man, the professionalism that was displayed, is second to none. I'm done.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one, Dave. Let me just look at before I go to you guys. Good afternoon, people. Real quick. Good afternoon, everyone. Donald Coleman. Good afternoon, Beverly Wells. Good afternoon, Eva. Perfect example why officers can never be too careful. I hate the optics because of the perpetuation of the stigma of police of people who may have the same skin color, hairstyle, or any other characteristic that drives unilateral bias. End of the day, the actions of the one individual that impacts perception on multiple fronts. They handle the medical attention and apprehension with unbelievable composure and professionalism. Just what you just said, Dave. That's coming from Will Quick. So I thought he should have him stay in the car. Donald Coleman will respond about Mr. Coleman. Given the nature of the call, the officer requiring him to stay in the car will likely be perceived as escalation on the officer's part. Whew. Isabel Jordan. That's why I could never. That's why I could never. Let me finish. That's why I could never be a cop. Kudos to those officers. Who just called? Who just called out?
Dave.
That was me. Real fast.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All our listeners on here, all our civilian listeners, thank God for you, because you know what? As we have this show, you guys are really understanding what police officers have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to relay that message to all your loved ones and friends and people that you just met. Wait a minute. You can use your logic from what you see, what you hear and see through us. And so I love all you guys to death, all our civilian listeners.
Thank you for that, Dave. Thank you so much for that. Let me see, who do I have next? I have Derek, D, Rich, and Mark.
Yes. I didn't even know if the cop pulled him over or if the cop pulled him over because the car was.
He didn't pull him over.
He was already stopped.
Yeah. So there would be no reason for the cop to kind of be up in arms and suspect this guy of something. It's one of those things where I've said it before. It's an inherently dangerous job.
Yep.
And every day is in danger filled. It can hit you at any time, and there was no way to be prepared for that.
Oh no.
the guy did it inside the car. I mean, there's no way to be prepared. I feel horrible for the officer's family.
Family, yeah.
And yeah, hopefully we don't see more of that. But it is just there's no way to prepare. If someone gets to jump on you, it's over. And we just witnessed that. That's it.
Yeah, this is one of the things that come with police work, just the unknown. You just don't know what a person is thinking, or how dangerous they are. Ty said it at the beginning, and I think Mark had a situation like that. I don't want to go too fast, but years ago, something that could have been close to that as well. And Mark's name is up. I'll let Mark talk about that. But at this time, let me move on. Let me go with D, Rich, and then Mark.
All right, I just want to say a couple of things really quick in reference to this video. First of all, understand that a lot of times these are the videos that law enforcement see during training. Cheech might help me out on this. It's like prisoners in jail. They take 24 hours and they watch the guards, and they wait for that 1 second that you do something, and then they take advantage of it. That's what it's like stopping all of these cars. So what happens is you develop a program of dealing with things. You control it. Stay in your car. Let me see your hands. Don't talk to me unless I talk to you. And a lot of people, and this is the benefit of the people listening, think that's rude, and why are you being so aggressive, and you're on I see it all the time, a power trip. It has nothing to do with that. These are the things that happen. More cops get killed than kill people, if you think about it. I know the numbers, many more. Here's why. We have to wait until something happens to respond to it. When that thing happens, a lot of times we're no longer here. Yeah. So what we do is we try to take other methods like controlling a situation, your command presence, to stop anything that would have happened. Having said that, we spent our career, some 20, 30, almost 40 years, dealing with people at their worst possible day. The expectation when you're getting stopped is the law enforcement officer knows what kind of day it is, knows what I'm going through, knows what I carry, knows what my situation is, and he doesn't. He has to prepare for you at your worst possible day. I want that to sink in, because I want you to understand that when those lights go on, he's thinking this is my worst possible day. And let's deal with it from that perspective and that understanding, so these things don't happen. Guy said it before, there was no way to avoid this. I've done it. I see somebody stuck on the side of the road. I've changed tires. I've put my back to the roadway. Forget the guy shooting me. I almost got run over a few times. That's what we do. That's our job. And
you can't become complacent.
You can't. And that's what you got to understand. He's always on 10. It's not a power trip. Get that out of your mind. He's on 10 because this is how we're trained. I have to train for what just happened. I can't train for you on your nicest day. I want you to understand that. I got to train for this could possibly happen. And I think if you understand that, a lot of police interactions would go a lot better, because you would understand, okay, he's training for me at my worst. He doesn't know me. I know him. I have an advantage. When we stop, lights and siren, uniform, shield, patches all over us, you have an advantage over me. You know who I am. You know what I'm doing. I don't know where you just came from. This guy just came from killing his girlfriend or a young lady, and I have to assume everybody just comes from killing their girlfriend, and I got to handle it appropriately. And again, I don't abuse my power, but I got to handle that situation until I know it's not. And sometimes you never know that it is. So I just wanted to take a moment so people understand everybody is saying the absolute right things. Absolutely. But you got to understand when you're involved with police, and I know you're upset and you want to go through all of these things, understand he's going to deal with you like it's your worst day. Now, you can, when it's me, you can make a decision to how that's going to go. we're either going to come to some understanding or not. But understand these are the things that we train on. This is the ultimate. Most of us have seen videos like this, not just this one, other videos like this where guys have not gone home to their families. And that's a whole nother conversation I'll have at a later date. I'm done.
All right,
You have
D.
to be.
Hold up,
Now, can I
Cheech.
say something real quick?
Okay, well, listen, y'all got to give me some heads up, fingers up, something, because I'm trying to keep this thing moving. Go ahead, Cheech.
I just gonna say that you train and you prepare for that 1%. 99% of the time, everything is a normal call and everything goes good, but it's that 1% that you got to be ready for. That's it.
Okay. Marcus says red flag when driver was approaching with his hands in his pockets. He also says, don't mean to belittle the situation. It's easy for anybody to be caught off guard when dealing with a psychopath. Will Quick says, I see your point. This is in response to to Marcus. I see your point, but we have to deal with the call based on the info we have and what we observe. Not sure what the weather was like, but if hands in pockets is reasonable for the weather conditions and absent of any other reasonable suspicion, it becomes a total unknown risk. At most, it could be a consideration for the officer to immediately exit his car to give him options if he perceives threat. It's a whole lot going. There's so much that can happen here. Donald Coleman, okay, after listening to these officers over the years that I've been listening to them about saying to drivers to stay in their vehicles, I thought that this was protocol. I stand to be corrected. Mark is not. Isabel, I never thought about it in that way. Thank you. See, this is a learning tool. Kyle, this officer did not pull the driver over. The driver was stopped on the side of the road with a flat tire. So this officer is approaching a situation to help and not to take care of a crime. So his attitude, his mentality was, I'm stopping to help a pedestrian on the side. So it's a whole different mentality. And listen, if you've never pulled a vehicle over as a police officer, you will never understand what's going through the mind of that police officer as that police officer is pulling over to even help grandma. Your grandma, you just don't know what's going through that police officer's mind the whole time. Is this a setup? Is someone in the back seat? Someone asked before why the cops always walk by and pull on the trunk. Well, sometimes the trunk is not locked. You want to make sure no one's in that trunk. And if they're in that trunk, then slam it so they'll stay in the trunk. You know, there's a whole lot going on at that time that a police officer is thinking about 1,000 things at one situation. I'm trying to go through the comments and I'm gonna come back to the panel. Real quick, completely understand me, Coleman. Certainly that would be the normal protocol for a traffic stop. There we go, what I just said, this was an assistance call. Okay. Donald Coleman, Rev, this is why I enjoy this show. You learn something every time. Well, thank you so much, Donald Coleman. Thank you so much for not just Donald Coleman, for all of you and for all your input, because that's what we want. We want your input. We want your civilian thoughts also, which will probably be a little different than ours as former law enforcement officers, but we want that so we can correct it and help someone if they're in the same kind of situation, so you'll know what the other side is thinking and not only what you're thinking as a civilian. All right. So let me go with Rich, Mark, and Derek.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. You know what, everybody covered all the different bases of this tragic incident. You know, I think as police officers, we've all been lax on, you know, contact, especially protecting and serving. Protecting and serving is dangerous. It can get you killed. You try to do the right thing. A lot of guys that have been killed, police officers, is because they had a good heart. They were trying to help. They're trying to do the right thing, and it got them killed. Only because that other person was the evil person on the other end that had plans to take that particular officer out, no matter what he did or said. So many officers have been ambushed in their vehicle, just sitting there somebody pulls up and shoots them to the window.
Mm-hmm.
There's no defense for that. There's nothing you can do. You know, I wouldn't criticize this officer at all. He was trying to help this individual. You know, it wasn't a traffic stop, as we tried to explain to everyone. He didn't pull the car over. He was rendering assistance. He was showing up to help this guy, flat tire, side of the road, late at night, whatever. And it went horribly wrong, you know, and he was just trying to be helpful. And you know, condolences to his family. The second thing I'll say is that's why when we have stolen vehicles, guns are out, and you know the tactics are there, and we're getting people out and they're walking back to our car because we don't know what they did prior to stealing that car. They could have just killed 4 people, you know, and here we are pulling a car over. Oh, and people say, "Oh, it's just property. It's a vehicle." No, 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 no. The person may have just committed murder, robbery, rape, whatever. They stole a vehicle to get away, but there's a more serious crime that's hidden behind that, and they're not going to jail. They're not going to be taken alive, and we got to be ready for that particular circumstance when someone decides they're not going to go to jail, not going to be taken alive, because all bets are off, you know. And you got to be ready to shift into that gear from wanting to help somebody to fighting for your life, and you know, it's just a tough thing to have a big heart or care about people and keep yourself safe and be able to go home. So there's a lot to think about here. We've discussed a lot of different issues, and they're all important. And I do appreciate everybody's input. Thank you.
Yep. Beverly Wells says, too bad the officers don't ride 2 to a car. And that's dependent on departments and size of department. A whole lot of things. Most of the cars in where we work were single man cars, you know. So you're right. I think NYPD was 2-man patrol, right, Derek?
Yeah, 2 men in certain
Usually
situations.
most of the time, but I don't
But
know if you
conditions.
remember last year, 2 officers got killed in the car together. Someone just walked up on the car and shot both of them in Brooklyn. So I mean, if someone has the jump on you, they have the jump on you. It doesn't matter if you have a car full of people.
That's right.
If you're not expecting anything and someone walks up and they open fire, it's over.
Got somebody, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Marcus Diggs said just what you just said. I always said if someone has intent on shooting you, there's very little you can do to prevent it.
You go get shot.
That's very true, Marcus. Very true. Will Quick says, "Yep." Let me go with well, I don't see Mark. Oh, there he is. Okay, Mark, and then Derek. Mark was slumped in his seat. I mean, he must have taken a nap or something.
No, I was listening. And kudos to you for a good memory, Don. That same exact thing happened to me in the 110. I happened to be by myself. I think I was coming from the hospital. And I'm driving in the car. It was snowing. It was about maybe 2 feet of snow. This Spanish guy standing by his car, changing the flat. I'm like, yo, my man, you all right? He's like, oh, yeah, my car got a flat. I said, all right, well, he's something he didn't have. So I was like, well, you're only a few blocks from the police department if you want to. We didn't have cell phones then. So I said, if you want to, I'll take you to the police station. You can use the phone, call for help, and then, have your people pick you up. Oh, okay, thanks. So I had him sit in the front seat with me so I can keep an eye on him. But this dude had a loaded 357 tucked in his back, and he couldn't get to it that quick. But I see him, moving around, looking really uncomfortable. So as I pull up to the police station, and he like turns his back and tries to back out of the police car. Then I kind of figured out something's going on. Next thing you know, just to shorten up the story, foot chase. I get him. I saw where he put the gun, grab him, lock him up, go back, recover the gun. Like I said, loaded 357. There before the grace of God. Because if this guy wanted to, turn around and lean back in the car and shoot me, I probably wouldn't be here. The fact is, anytime that we put that uniform on, like I think Dee said, we're a target. And we can have all the best intentions in the world of helping the public. But it only takes that one person. It only takes us being in the wrong place at the wrong time to meet up with that person, and they're gonna end up killing you. And they had the jump on you. And Willie Cheat said, we got to keep our guard up, but not be complacent. But you know what? You're not going to treat everybody like a criminal. You're just not. You may think so, but there are times where Donald gave the example. It's an old woman, and you pull up, but you don't know who's in the back seat of the car. So we're a target, and we put that uniform on knowing that, and we put that uniform on knowing we may not go home at the end of that tour.
Right.
It's told to us in the academy, and we see it, and we're reminded of it every day. But yet we still put that uniform on, and we do our jobs as best we can. But if a person wants to kill you, or that person says, I'm not going back to jail, or I just killed somebody, they're going to find out. So even if the officer didn't know that the car was stolen or whatever the case is, that person's saying, well, eventually he's going to find out the more time he spends with me. So guess what? We're on a desolate road. I'm just going to shoot him and kill him and drive off. And I don't even know how he ended up wrapping the car up, but this guy could have been anywhere. But it just goes to show you, we are a target. And that's why sometimes we're a little stern. We're a little, forceful. We're a little cautious, maybe sometimes overly cautious. And the public doesn't understand that. And, the cop was so nasty. But that's the reason why. Sometimes we just can't be too careful.
Absolutely. Dave, go ahead. I got you, Derek, but go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, real quick. When I got hired, and I got my precinct, and the one he yanked me aside, and I was the only brother there for a minute, and they told me, you don't have to worry about finding the bad guy and the bad girl. They're gonna find your ass. And you know what, man? It sticks to me to this day. Because that helped me get through what I had to go through. And for all the people who are listening, our civilian listeners, man, that's a hell of a thing to say to me as a young 23-year-old rookie. Is that you got to worry about finding the bad guy, the bad girl, and women to kill your ass too. They're gonna find you. Okay, that guy with the ice water stare, that woman with the ice water stare, been through some shit on that street corner. They're looking for you. That's what they told me. And you know what? That stuck to me, man. I told my parents that, man. And my mother, Alabama woman, church, all that. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's the first thing she said. You know what I mean? I said, hey, well, Mom, that's the real deal. This is reality now. I'm in it. So, but Mark, man, I'm glad you got out of that one, bro, because your head would have been gone.
All right.
I'm done.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, I was lucky in the front seat, because if I put him in the back seat, he'd have had all the time in the world to. So, I did some things correct, but, just putting him in the car, and there were a few things wrong just because I assumed I'm helping this guy. This guy's not a criminal.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Derek?
Yeah, and for those that are out there that weren't police officers, the officer was going to help. There was no known crime. Obviously, the guy committed a crime that he knew of, but the officer didn't know of a crime. And I know we hear officers a lot tell people to take their hands out of their pockets. Usually that's when the person is suspected of something. Pants are made with pockets from the factory, and it's not illegal to have your hands in them. And if you are approaching someone or someone's approaching you as a police officer and there's no known crime, it's, obviously, it can be voiced in different ways. You could say, take your hands out of your pockets, or let me see your hands, but it's not illegal to have your hands in your pockets. And often when we're out there dealing with regular people, not criminals, we're trying not to insult people. And it's one of those things. It's a sad deal. And I don't know how many of us here have worked somewhere where someone's been shot or killed. Donald was working the day Robert Venable got shot, so was I. I was working the day Derwin Pennell got shot. I was working the day Frank Codispati got shot. I was working the day Irma Lozada got killed. And those were all in District 33. And it's, you know, it's horrible, horrible, horrible. And there was another gentleman who got killed after he left the job and he became a councilman. He got killed in City Hall in New York City, and his locker used to be right next to mine. But it's one of those things where it's sad, where you go to work one day and at the end of the day somebody's missing, and you know, it's just a sad deal.
James Davis.
James Davis, right? James Davis got killed in City Hall. Yes.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. Let me just go through. I got some on here as well. Marcus Dick says, Cochise, it would be better to treat everybody as a criminal than to treat good citizens as criminals and criminals as good citizens. I'm just saying. That's what he put on there. And then Marcus also says, you could have called dispatch and let them make the call. It's not illegal for an officer to want to see your hands either. Let's not get silly. It's not illegal for an officer to do almost anything. It just doesn't mean that it's the law. Doesn't mean that you have to do it. I mean, the officer has a right to ask. Anybody has a right of inquiry to ask you, what's your name, what's your address, what are you here for? They have the right to ask you that. It doesn't mean that you have to answer. I don't suggest giving them such a hard time, because it's just going to escalate this situation. Marcus goes, anytime I deal with a cop, I make sure they can see my hands. That's the wisest thing to do, though. That is absolutely the wisest thing to do. Okay, who I have? I got let me see, who I got? Richard Mark. Is that who I have? Richard Mark. Okay, yeah. In that order.
Yeah, real quick, I just wanted to say, listening to the circumstances of this particular incident, I would think that the suspect was actually high. I mean, the way he sounded a little incoherent, and then running the car into a tree. I think he got high before he killed his girlfriend, and that's why he sounded the way he sounded, and that's why he crashed the car. That's what I think occurred, and I think it's easier for people to commit crimes this atrocious being high. You know, because you're high, you're under the influence, you're not thinking clearly, and it's easy to do a bad thing while you're high. And I think that's what I think happened. I don't know for sure. They didn't talk about that, but I think he was high during the contact, the incident, and the crimes he committed. That's all I had.
Okay. Mark?
Yeah. In responding to some of the texts that you got, yeah, you learn, you live and you learn. You hope you live so you can learn. But as police officers, we want to help people. And if we see somebody in distress or somebody who needs help, that was our frame of mind. And, it taught me a lesson that even if I want to help somebody, I have to be ultimately careful. But there's a lot of new officers out there who get out there or even seasoned officers. And, the hair doesn't stand up on the back of your head. You think everything, the snow, this poor guy, and your heart goes out. And sometimes it can cost you your life, but that's the job.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you guys for that conversation. We're going to go to our next video. What's that? Taco Bell? D, is that it? Yeah. All right, let's go there.
Security guard in Taco Bell has an interaction with a woman. Let's talk about it.
Civil rights leaders are demanding action after a guard in downtown LA is caught on camera slapping a woman at Taco Bell Cantina. We want to warn you, some of the video may be disturbing. This happened on Sunday. The incident has gone viral. Activists are calling for the guard's arrest, firing, and a meeting with Taco Bell's CEO to address this. There you go, right there. That was a slap. The victim, believed to be homeless, is being looked for by volunteers. Taco Bell has yet to issue a public statement. It's unclear what led to the altercation. There is a meeting to address this tonight. We'll tell you what happened at 10.
Oh no, I gotta go first on that. This joker this sorry joker just swung on a woman just because she was a woman. Because if that was me standing, I bet you I wouldn't have gotten slapped like that.
Exactly.
You know, he slapped a woman. Forget the security piece. He slapped a woman. That was totally out of order. Totally out of order. I mean, I wish I was there.
Yeah.
Me too, D.
I wish I was there because I would have pushed him to the side on that one. Like, now, listen, you are out of order. I mean, he's all right. D and Jamel.
Don about to go off. Don about to go off.
Let me say
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
Yeah. Let me say this really quick. This is a security guard. It's not a police officer, but I do know, at least here in New York, maybe you guys outside of New York can correct me. You have to be licensed to be a security guard, and that licensing, that training, that licensing, you have to follow certain rules and regulations. A lot of people think just because security guard is somehow different, it's sort of the same rules. They can't arrest you, but they have to follow the same rules. This was 100% out of pocket. First of all, slapping anybody. Forget that it's a woman. That's a whole nother conversation. And there are probably 550,000 ways if you need to take control of her, you can. Slapping her like that is, and then when they said she was homeless, and maybe they wanted her out of the place, whatever the case may be. There's a whole book of rules and things you could do and that's not it. No way in the world, no way is that it. That's 100% wrong. Actually, because he did that, he should have the handcuffs put on him. That was an assault.
Exactly.
And if she happened to be an EDP, my city guys know what that means. That's going to take that up a level. That assault, you can't do that. It's just it's wrong, 100% wrong, and that's all I wanted to say.
What's an EDP? D?
Emotionally disturbed person.
Thanks, sir.
Marcus, this guy Marcus is killing me over here. Marcus says, I don't know. First of all, are you sure that was a woman?
Can I ask you guys, when she walked up there like that, was she reaching for somebody else?
He was trying to order food.
Trying to place an order.
Order food.
Yeah, on the kiosk.
Placing an order on a touchscreen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got touched, all right.
I thought she was reaching for somebody else. I'm like,
No.
I didn't know. I couldn't see.
She was on the kiosk, but at the end of this video, also, as she's leaving, he's telling her to leave. He also gives her a little shove, like out the door, like leave.
Right.
I said leave would have been his last word.
Hey Cheryl, stop hitting me with your fingers. That the sister finger thing. I can't.
Making me dizzy.
D, I did get you right, D. I got you right.
Yeah.
All right, Jamel.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry to be catching up with you guys now, but that video was so unfortunate. The lady or male, whatever human being it was.
It was a female. It was a woman.
that security guard. I mean, everything that D. Schoon said, I definitely double up on that. Listen, obviously this individual is down on their luck. Apparently, possibly homeless, and listen, have some compassion. I don't know what precipitated before that slap, or she may be a regular at that location, and I mean, regardless, I mean, it's another human being, and like someone said, she could be emotionally disturbed. I don't know, but that was uncalled for, and listen, when you're in some type of law enforcement field, you have to have a thicker skin, and your resistance got to be very high, to put up with some of the people that can be aggravating or a nuisance. But no, you don't inflict like some type of pain like that on somebody and commit a crime, because of their mere presence at that location. But no, I would imagine that if they find that lady to make a complaint, I'm sure they will follow through on that. And that security guard got to go. Thanks, guys.
All right, Mark, and then we'll go to our next video.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Unless someone has something to say. Okay.
Yeah, security guards and cops. If a person's acting a fool, you can't let the crowd pump you up to where you do something stupid.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's the case in that instance because I don't know what happened prior to, but it's just something to keep in mind. And anybody who's listening that's gonna be a cop one day, you're gonna have the crowd pumping you up sometimes to do the wrong thing, and then when you do, they turn around and be like, oh, and now all of a sudden they're your worst enemy. You got to keep focused. You got to keep your mind on what's right and what's wrong, what you can and what you can't do. But you can't even the correction officers 2 shows back that beat up that guy in the medical room. It becomes like a gang mentality sometimes. This guy's doing it. Come on, and everybody jumps in, and you got to fight that. And somebody's got to be man enough to stand up and be like, listen, enough's enough.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, guys. I was in communication with AC, and his mother-in-law's home. Oh, Jamel, hold on for 1 second, Jamel. But you're on mute though. He's home. His mother-in-law's homegoing celebration was today. He's at the repast now, so just keep the AC and his family in your prayers. Jamel, your mouth was moving, but you're on mute. I don't know if you were talking to us or not, but unmute yourself if you were. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Thank you, Mark. Let's go with the next one, D. This is the one with the man tased in the gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing where a lot of people now want to challenge police officers. I would discourage that behavior because you're going to get met with something that you're really not prepared for. This was at a gym, and I think my understanding was he was refused service. So you understand what that means. Just because you walk in a door, it's a public place, but some places can refuse to serve you. When they say leave, you have to leave, or when they say stop, you have to stop. Not just I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And this was this is a FAFO. He squared off on the cop, and we figured out how that happened. Hold on. And there you have it.
And that cop was on point, y'all. That cop was on point with what he just did. Because I'm looking at this thing saying, all right, I know we're not wrestling because you probably tossed me all over the place in here. So that's not happening. I can't shoot you.
Nope.
But I sure enough can tase you, though. Listen.
Hit him hard.
Let me go with Mark, Jim, and D.
Yeah, so what I just said about the people around you pumping you up goes for civilians too. Just because you're at the gym and you're all full of testosterone, all your boys are around you. Listen, as soon as you start getting that ass whipped, all of a sudden they start walking away.
By themselves, yeah.
A lot of bar fights too. All of a sudden they're all pumping you up, and then as soon as the shit hits the fan, excuse my language, but then all of a sudden, well, that's my alpha day, but
all over the world.
But all of a sudden, your friends leave real quick.
I mean, hey, Mark, he literally squared up. I mean, he's like, yo, I mean, go ahead, Jim.
Hey, good thing Dave wasn't there. He'd have been bench pressing right next to him. Be like, when I did it,
you know what, man?
then
I'm getting tired of punk ass bodybuilders think they can fight. I'm a ground game guy. I ain't chasing you around boxing. Okay? I'm tired of punk ass bodybuilders think they can fight. Get out of here.
It reminds.
No, you go ahead. You got it.
It reminded me of the Indiana Jones, bring a knife to him. That's just what it looked like. Oh, okay. And down he went. I mean, it is kind of funny to look at, but hey, that cop isn't paid to swear up and out with you.
Let me just go with Marcus' remarks. Marcus seems to have a whole lot to say here. Don't need that video to weigh in. Just because he didn't follow your command doesn't give you the right to shoot or tase or slap somebody. Hold up, you are completely wrong in your statement there, Marcus. He was asked to leave.
Yeah.
So that was where the legal part came in. He was asked to leave and refused to leave, and then he squared up. So listen, he was supposed to be walking out the door.
That's right.
And the police don't sit up and say, well, they probably asked the question, but if the establishment wants you out, they have the right to want you out.
Exactly.
And you can fight that another day. Go ahead, Mark.
Does he think that the officer was just driving by the gym, decided to get out the car, run, and see the biggest guy?
You refuse to.
Hey, listen to me. Nah, it don't happen like that. We got other things.
Listen, I'm glad you chimed in, because I'm like, this thing is serious for us.
Yeah.
First of all, we don't want to be there in the first place. Trying to take someone out that that may be able to take us out. That's the first thing. So I mean, there's a whole lot going on here, and police officers have to use their judgment. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's why I said it right up front. He did exactly what I would have done.
Heck yeah.
I don't even care if the guy was smaller than me.
No.
I'm not gonna sit up here and go toe to toe with this guy with all these free weights sitting around here.
I got calls going. I get that.
I'm getting advantage on this one. I've never used laser or taser, whatever it is. I never tased anybody. I've never had it. I've never been trained.
You never had it. No, we had it.
I never had it. But I tell you what, he would have been tased. He'd have been laying on the ground until I got the handcuffs on him. And then I would stop tasing him.
Don, you'd have used your secret ninja sweep you used to do.
And listen, according to my order, I have D and then Derek.
All right. Yeah, just really quick. Just for the people watching, I used to go to the gym and watch these guys. When I get involved with a cop and they be lifting, and I just shake my head. Listen, we're not losing fights.
No, bro.
Don't lose fights. When I see police officers constantly talk and fighting and wrestling, it never gets there. I'm trying to explain to you. It doesn't get there. I don't lose a fight. I give you an order once. If you don't follow it, you're going to go to the ground or worse. Yeah. It's just the way it is. I want to say that so people don't think that there's this middle ground where we can go back and forth. I never went back and forth. For 32 years, I don't have time to go back and forth. They call me here. You have to leave. Sir, leave. Ma'am, put your hands behind your back. Sir, get in the car. It's very simple. When you don't follow that order, and let me be clear, because we got a lot of people watching. When you don't follow that order, it's an act of aggression, and I'm going to act. End of story. One time. Not 8 times. Not back, and we're not having a discussion on the block. What I think, how I want to do. Let's talk about the book. You have to leave. If you don't start walking, I'm going to help you. If you're going to try to avoid me from helping you, now I have to hurt you and help you. One thing I used to say when I was working, you're going to get arrested, sir. We can stop at the hospital if you want. They got some real pretty nurses. I think I said this before down there. I don't mind going by the hospital and see the pretty nurses before. We can go there before we go to the jail, but we're going to the jail. We got to stop this middle of the road in between, because even for the civilian, you're putting yourself in peril that you don't need to be in. Sit in the car, get handcuffed for 2 seconds, then we'll unhandcuff you. Most situations we're in, you don't know what's going on around. You don't know what the desk lady told me. I don't know what you said to the desk lady. I don't know how you threatened her. We got terrorist threats now and all of these things in the penal law. So all I'm saying is comply, comply, comply. We'll figure it out later. But non-compliance is going to be met in a certain way. And then you can't be upset. Oh, I'm sorry now. Please, 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 please. No. Please, please. Happened back there. Now we got to go. Now I got to drag you. Now I got to do whatever. So just keep that in mind.
Well, listen, you heard D, what D said. I was a little bit different. I would ask you probably twice, maybe 3 times. But he has a right to get the compliance when he first says it, unless you just didn't hear him. But with me, even if you heard me, I would give you 2, maybe 3. And the reason, and I did that for me, not for you. I did that so I wouldn't feel guilty when I had to take you out of here and put you on the ground and put you in these handcuffs, take you, because then I don't want to hear nothing you have to say at that point. If I felt that I'd give you more than enough chances at that time, now my conscience is clear that whatever I have to do to get these cuffs on you is what's going to happen, and I don't really want to hear anything you have to say at that point. And that's why when I was asked to do some police work even after retiring, I said no, because the community that I served in now as a pastor would never understand how Reverend Butler just slammed that lady or that man down to the ground to put those handcuffs on, because they figure a pastor is supposed to do nothing even close to that.
Right.
I mean, it's always supposed to be nice and good and kind and the easiest way. When sometimes that's what police work is. That's not how it works. I had to throw that up in there. Let me see. One of our panelists who's not on with us right now, AC, he chimed in. AC said it's not supposed to be oh, wait a minute. He first said something before. He said it's not a fighting contest. And then he says it's not supposed to be a fair fight. Marcus has time to show that video of the old deaf man getting his butt kicked by several officers. The old deaf, I don't know about that one, but Derek knows. But Derek, you're next, and then Rich.
Yeah, and Don, I'm glad you brought up either slamming a man or a woman, because when you show up to a scene and you have to deal with someone who's prepared to fight, it's no longer gender-based.
Nope.
Right.
It is this person that has to be removed, arrested, ejected, whatever it is. And there were 2 things that I used to say to people. I used to say to people, mostly the guys, if you want to fight, I'm not stopping if you get hurt or tired. The fight isn't over because you just got injured. The fight is over when I get you in the cuffs.
That's right.
So I used to tell them that. And I used to tell ladies, if you act like a man, I'll fuck you up like you're a man. Those are the 2 things I used to say to people. And if you still want to go after that, then we can do it. But in a gym with all those free plates and dumbbells and stuff around, tasing was the best possible option. And it's a one-shot deal. You square up, that means you're ready to fight. The fight needs to be ended before it started. Period. And the one thing that people on here don't get to see is normally as soon as people lose, they want to start the fight, but as soon as they lose, they want to make a complaint.
Right.
They want to make a complaint now. Now they want to talk to the inspections and internal affairs and everybody. They want to talk to everybody because they were done wrong, because they lost. But if they won, they'd be in the neighborhood spouting out to all their boys about how they whipped you behind. Yep, and that's it.
All right. Listen, y'all will probably figure out that Derek and I have almost like the same mentality when it comes down to getting the job done, because we were partners when I worked with him in the city too. So we really listen. If you had both of us, you had 2 people who thought exactly alike, and we were coming from 2 different angles, and it was going to be it was really going to be on if you put it that way. It was going to be on. Let me go with Rich and Cheech.
Yeah, I just want to address people like Marcus who thinks tasing somebody is above and beyond the pale. Listen, and that like everybody said, in that particular situation, tasing was the best method. It was the safest method. You don't want to be tussling with somebody around all those weights and everything metal that you can get injured on playing games like that. Use your taser, take them out, take them down, hook them up. And what people need to understand that aren't police officers, that taser policy is very liberal. The taser can be used as soon as you're uncooperative, you're not going with the flow, you're showing that you're a threat, the taser can be used, just like pepper spray. It's on that same level, at least in California, on that same level of use of force. The pepper spray or the taser. Now, in that particular situation, taser was the best method. The guy got a great job. I applaud that cop. It was well done. And end of story. It was solved. So, Marcus, you think that cops shouldn't use taser in certain situations? We're going to use it as willfully as possible to control the scene and take people into custody. So, understand that. I mean, it's a joke.
Rich, is Marcus your friend?
No, I met him through the Facebook.
All right, listen.
On my art page.
Did you read Marcus' comment?
No, I wasn't. I didn't have it open.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I'm fine. Obviously, it's funny.
It says "no, but it must mean now you know what I think, Rich. Now you know what I think, Rich. It's on now. Let me tell you about yourself. That's why I'm like, well, no, is this your friend? Because I was always on the assumption that you knew him only through Facebook. So
I knew him for Facebook only. Like I said, you had him on here, and a lot of times he's gotten out of line. I said, hey, cancel that. You're like, no, I want to keep him because he's interesting. Well, that's the interesting side of Marcus. He thinks a certain way. He's generally anti-cop to me, and he has been. So I don't know.
He says, true that, we ain't friends.
Okay, we ain't friends. And you're anti-cop, and you think we shouldn't tase people. So, you're the other side of the coin, whatever.
Well, Marcus, he may not be your friend, but he's showing off his ours.
That's right.
Let me go with, I'm sorry, Cheech. No, I got Rich. Go ahead, Cheech.
Yeah, I just want to remind the public real quick that you got to remember establishments have a right to refuse you service and ask you to leave. Some people don't understand that, and if you're in a store or a restaurant and they ask you to leave and they call police in to take you out, you got to go, and they can trespass you. And if you come back again, you're going to get arrested. So just be aware of that. That's for the public.
Okay, listen, listen, y'all may get mad at me, but I'm gonna entertain Marcus today because Marcus got me going. Marcus now says this is good. This is gonna be good for everybody except for Jim. Marcus says,
Jim too.
Black cops are interesting. And I guess we would be. I guess we would be interested since you're not used to seeing us in this role with some type of authority, and doing things. And then we've all dealt with people that felt like we're supposed to give them a break because they're Black, and because we didn't do it, now we're the interesting person now because we didn't do it. But why would you want to take advantage of someone who looks like you just because they're a part of that? I have always had a problem with people just wanting to take advantage of a Black officer because they were Black. I had stopped a guy that I went to school with, and I stopped him for just going right through a stop sign. I pull him over, and he's cursing me out like we don't know each other. Oh, what the F you doing? Why are you doing this to me? You just pulling me over because I'm Black. I'm like, hold on, man. I'm pulling you over because you went through this stop sign, and you talking to me like I'm some stranger. And he took it to another level to where he got more than the one ticket. And anyone who knows me know I can find tickets. If I get hold of your car, I can find a whole lot of things wrong with everybody's car. I'm talking about everybody's car. Even the car that I drive right now, I could find something wrong with it right off the top. Some of y'all got your little college sticker sitting up in the window. I got you. All right. You got your little PBA sticker sitting up in the window. I got you. I mean, all that stuff, your little air freshener hanging up from your mirror. I got you. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of all of that in one shot. So I always tell my family, just shut up. If you really don't know, just be quiet. Because it can cause you more problems than you could imagine and more money out your pocket. Let me see what he says. He says, in defense, I didn't hear the video and I didn't see him square up. All right. So that means you're talking about something that you shouldn't be talking about. That's the first thing. And my uncle was a black cop all my life. You probably didn't like him either, that's a whole nother story. And and really, it shouldn't be black cop, white cop. I mean, it really shouldn't be. If a police officer pulls me over, I expect a police officer to treat me professionally. Plain and simple, black or white. I want to treat me professionally, even if it's to give me that ticket. Just be professional about it. That's all. I mean, I received a ticket before. Listen, I got a ticket from a Hempstead police officer before I was a Hempstead police officer, and I'll tell you, his name was Mikowski. Gave me a ticket on my birthday. That's how I remember it, because it was my birthday, and the ticket was for tinted windows. And so when I became a Hempstead police officer, and I got to know him, and we started talking, and we were good friends now. Let me just put that out front too. We were good friends. And I said to him, I said, you're the only Hempstead police officer that gave me a ticket. I never gave you a ticket. Yes, you did. And I don't remember what year it was, but you gave me a ticket on my birthday, and you gave it for tinted windows. That's when they had back Malcolm and Jim Kidd. You probably remember this. In the basement, they had the tickets somewhere in the back, way in the back by the fire range, way past that, in some office. And we went back there, looked on my birthday through the different years, and he pulled up my ticket with his name on it. He said, I can't believe I did this. I said, yep, you gave me a ticket. But you know what? He didn't give me a hard time. I felt he gave it to me because he had nothing else to do, but he did not give me a hard time. He gave me a tinted window ticket. So it happens. I said, Cole Rev, I started that statement saying I didn't see it. You're right. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. So it's something to make a comment about something that you really didn't see. That's why some of the guys on the panel will not say anything, because they didn't see the video, so they won't chime in on certain stuff. But listen, to each his own. You still listen. You're still here, and I like the fact that you're here because you bring some energy to us, and I kind of like the energy. I mean, somebody may not. I like the energy, but let me go to Mark.
Before you go to the next person, Don, I just want to say to Marcus, obviously you had an uncle that was a police officer. There are probably ways that he handled things that you wouldn't know of. Obviously, he knew you were his nephew. And 2, he never pulled you over. 3, when you all at family functions, he's not sitting around talking about his job. And just like we aren't at our family functions.
Right.
It happens to be a forum where we can truthfully talk about things based on videos that we've seen and experiences that we've had. But your uncle's done all the same stuff we've done, believe me.
Or more.
Right.
Or more, so I mean it's just a reality, Mark, come on, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Don, you brought up a good point. A lot of times, when we pull over minorities, I look Spanish to some people. They knew I was black, whatever the case was, but they're always expecting a break. And that's the key word, expectations. All right, control your expectations. My expectation was, if you're black or you're Spanish or you think we have whatever in common, don't give me a hard time.
Right.
Okay? Don't. Even when I became a supervisor, I lost a lot of friends becoming a supervisor. Don will laugh at it. He's probably laughing at it right now. He knows it's true. Okay, yep. But my thing was, those who were truly my friends didn't make me supervise. They did what they were supposed to do, and I never had to talk to them. But if you make me supervise, I'm going to do my job. And if you're a civilian and you're out there doing something wrong, I'm going to do my job. So whether you're black, you're white, you're yellow, you're native, whatever, I'm going to do my job. Now, if I see fit to give you a break, that'll be my decision, not your expectations.
Mark, and what Mark said is so true, because Mark and I have been friends since we pretty much met. And when he did make supervision, I made sure I respected him as a supervisor. I would never call him Mark while we're working. And then I had friends that cut Mark off, not just Mark off, cut supervisors off because they made supervisors. So I've seen it before, and it must be difficult. I've seen it before. All right. Listen, I'm gonna read these other comments. Marcus says, Derek, black cops are a misnomer. Have you seen Pressure Point with Sidney Poitier?
No.
And then my wife puts in there, Sylvia Butler puts black privilege with a question mark. You know, so we always talk about white privilege. She said black privilege with a question mark.
I knew it. You got
Sadly enough, one works, one doesn't.
Right.
Listen, guys, this is really why we enjoy having you on here. And sometimes it may seem like we're coming off hard because that's our police personality kind of way. You know, like, no, we're gonna check this right away. But we really, I'm speaking for myself now. I really enjoy all the comments. I mean, all the comments, even if I think they're crazy. I still like the fact that you brought them up because if I do talk to family, believe me, there's some questions asked. I'd be like, I know you just asked me that, you know. But you get those. We get those all the time. So it's not new to us. And believe me, no one's feelings are hurt over here. And even with what you said, Marcus, Rich feelings are not hurt at all.
No.
I can tell you that right now. I mean, I would pray his skin is thicker than that. You know, and even when you come at me sometimes, listen, I always say this, I dish out enough that where I should be able to take some. And those who know me closely know that I can dish it out. I slowed up on my dish. Why are you laughing so hard, CJ? Well, we're coming to an end. I got you, Mark. Mark is next. We're coming to an end, and maybe we can come up with a good boy video. D.
Got
All
it.
right.
Yeah, before we get to that good guy video, we've been all talking. I'd really have a request. I'd like the lamp to speak. If you look in the gallery, you see a lamp. It's been very quiet.
Oh, David Kennard.
Do we need to send an ambulance to his house?
And the ceiling too.
Oh, there he is. All right, David.
And we did have that ceiling light up there for a long time. But go ahead, D.
All right. So we've been talking about a lot of police contact. This was a pretty one. I've been seeing this for a while, and it's being.
I've seen it. I've seen this one.
Let's take a look.
Take these cuffs off, dog. You know what I'm saying? You heard what I said. Take these cuffs off. Hold on a second then, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick and tired of y'all cops, man. Always acting like y'all hard because y'all got these cuffs on, dog. You don't want none of this. You don't want none of this, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dog. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do? What you want to do, boy? What?
And go get in the car.
See, you just got to see Marcus for the first time.
Go arrest yourself.
Get on in the car, Marcus.
Listen, he got so scared he put himself in the car.
Put the cuffs on himself.
Put the cuffs back on. And got back in the car.
So, sometimes it's safer in the back seat of the car.
Yeah. Well, it was safer for him at that point. All I know, all right. It says, it's on enjoy. Okay, Rich. And then he says, all I know is Rich denied me as a friend. Typical black cop. I'd be getting in the front. I'd be getting in the front seat, Rich. Listen, I guess Marcus is having a good time as well because Marcus, you have to be laughing on the other end of this screen. You have to be. Let me see. Richard Brown says the only time I ever expected a break from a cop was from a cop whose mother went to nursing school with my mother. He gave me a break after I threatened to call his mother. I won't do that now. He's the sheriff of Anson County, North Carolina. Listen, I wish somebody would threaten me they're gonna tell my mother. I'll give you about five signatures to show her. That what happened at that scene. Tell my mother. Like, I'm a grown man. You gonna tell my mother? Tell my mother? All right. Listen, when I was working, my mother would call me Detective Butler. When my mother comes to my church, she call. I come to church. My mother come to church. My mother calls me Pastor Butler or Reverend Butler. She just keeps it, you know, respectable in certain areas, and that's my training as well. I call you ma'am, I call you sir. When it came down to supervise, I call them by their rank. It didn't make a difference about the friendship or relationship. I called Mark sergeant, lieutenant. I didn't work for him as when he was deputy chief, but even when I came in the police department, he was there. I called him chief. I did that on purpose because people are looking around and know that you're friends and they think that you're going to get favor or you can do certain things just because. The chief of Hempstead Police right now, when I'm outside the police department, I'll call him by his first name. But if I'm around the police officers or in any kind of capacity, I call him chief, plain and simple. So that's how I look at things. But listen, we got a couple of minutes. Anybody have anything else they wanted to say?
Read Marcus's last comment.
Okay, what was his last comment? Come on, I haven't laughed since 2016 election. Don't try me. All right, Marcus, I got you on that one. Listen, now we're on the same page for real. We're on the same page for real now. But you're right. What you call me, Rev? Grandpa. That's Donald Coleman. I call him Grandpa. So, but he calls me grandson. So we go back and forth with that. What else? What else? Oh, who says Marcus, you're a nut? Who else is using? Who else is using that? Oh, that's you, Rich.
That's
You know, Donald, it's me. When I comment, I don't know why I come up as roll call and not CJ.
I don't know if I put you down as co-host. Let me see.
Because you blinded my ass. That's why, and I got you back.
So that's you, CJ. I'm about to say because I didn't write that.
No, that's me. It's been me. It's been going on for. I don't know if you noticed. Remember the time I was flying out to California? I was texting y'all from the flight.
Mm-hmm.
It's been coming up ever since then. It's been coming up as a roll call. I don't know why.
Well,
because you got one of those phones.
Say what?
Those phones.
Maybe
Renee
Ice
says,
is looking for you.
Renee says I'm Renee
right.
at all times. Renee says I'm Renee at all times. Marcus says to your question, Marcus, you're a nut. To your statement, he says certified. Beverly Wells says I always call my bosses by their title.
Absolutely.
She worked with law enforcement as well. So Mark, go ahead and then we're gonna start bringing it in. But we're almost there. I know Dee's got to run.
I just want to say officially, thanks for coming back, Quiet Storm. We missed you. Good to see you. Don't go nowhere next time. We need you.
And I want you to know, Quiet Storm, that Mark had asked me, is anything wrong? I said, I haven't heard from her. I don't know if anything's wrong. I'm checking. So Mark made sure that you were good. And then I thought about it on here. I got in touch with you, AC, and JT to find out how the three of you were doing. And you came on, AC responded. JT I haven't heard from yet, but I'm concerned about all of you guys. But I try to give you your space because life is life.
Yes.
And sometimes some of the things that we have to deal with in life is something that we don't really want to share or talk about with anybody, and we have to deal with it at this point. And then when we get it together, we'll fill you in as we come. But I understand that Mark's the type of person that he really, if he don't see you, he want to make sure you're all right. If I'm not at the gym on Monday, And even when we want to find out what happened, everything all right? You know, I was at a funeral this past Monday, but I happened to. I usually tell Mark now, Mark, I won't be at the gym on Monday. You know, because I do know he'll be wondering, is everything all right? And if it's not me, he's wondering if my wife is all right. So he's always so that's how he is.
What's the name of our group? Roll call.
Yeah, roll call. Right, and you got to check in, right?
Make sure everybody all right, D?
Listen, that's good, Mark. That's a good one. That's a good one. So listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being with us. I think we had fun today, as well as giving out some good information and moving through some videos. Rich, did we do all right? Did we do all right,
Excellent.
Rich? We got through.
Excellent.
We got through 3 of them.
Good job.
3 of them. You know, well, we actually got 4. We got a good boy at the end. So we got 4 videos. So thank you so much. Jerry, feel better. I know Jerry's a little under the weather. Feel better. All you guys really take care of yourself. Be safe out there. This Sunday is daylight savings time. We lose an hour of sleep on Sunday, which is really rough for me because my service starts at 10 o'clock, which means now my service really starting at 9 o'clock. I'm just not an early bird person. You call me too early, you may get hung up on, or I don't know what's going to happen, but I just can't take that early morning stuff. But listen,
Derek.
yeah, because listen, Rich, he knows. Everybody knows that I can stay in bed all day long.
I'm surprised Don didn't change the church to just night services.
He'd be there by himself.
Yeah. Good idea, Mark. Good idea. Good idea. All right, listen. Again, thank you. Listen, definitely to you guys that are on Facebook Live, thank you so much for joining us. Marcus, please don't take what we said seriously. We're glad you're there. And I know this don't mean nothing to you, but keep talking. Keep saying what you got to say, because you're going to do that anyway. I'm just saying, let you know we are all right with it. But keep saying what you got to say, and we'll keep on moving. God bless you all, and we'll be praying for you all. Let us pray. God, our Father, we thank you again for allowing us to come together. We thank you for each and every person that joined us on Facebook Live. We thank you for every panelist. We're praying for their families right now. We're praying for JT and his wife. We're praying for Cheech and his wife. Lord God, we're praying for AC and his wife, even as at the repast of his mother-in-law right now. We're praying to God you give that family strength and comfort. We're praying for CJ, that you continue to bless her. We thank you for allowing Troy to see another rotation of the sun. We're praying to God you'll bless him and his family, and bless us all collectively and individually. Until the next time we meet, let us all say amen.
Amen.
Amen.